What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You dead meat!
Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Hey everybody, welcome back to What's Your Favorite Scary Movie, where I talk to people about their favorite horror movies. Today's guest is very accomplished actress, Krysten Ritter. Hi, Krysten.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining me. So before we talk about your favorite scary movie, I wanted to talk to you just about what your experience is with the genre as a whole. Did you watch horror movies growing up? Is it something you came to later in life? Or are you not even a really big fan of watching them in general?
Yeah, so I am a fan. Sometimes, just watching them for like the fun of it. I love that the genre lends itself to like fun camera moves and like cueing to the audience that something is coming. I love the tension, suspense, and I love being scared, I guess, but also hate nightmares. So I definitely watch the scary movies when they come out. Growing up, I loved Scream and The Craft and The Lost Boys, like the cool stuff.
Yeah, that sounds right. Those types of movies, I think, were very influential for people of a certain age range who just like were coming to age as those were coming out. And yeah, they seemed hip. They seemed really cool and new. And Scream is what got me really into horror movies when I was really young.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney. It's your favorite scary movie.
Up until recently, though, you haven't been on screen in horror stuff, have you? I was looking over your filmography, and I did see a zombie web series with John Heder a little bit ago.
Yeah, a little bit ago, like at the beginning of my career. That was really fun, I gotta say. John Heder is so funny, and Josh Gad, we just laughed our asses off all day. But Jessica Jones had a lot of horror undertones, especially in season 1, a lot of psychological thriller horror stuff, and in season 2, a lot of horror elements. So stylistically, I think there were some nods to a lot of good horror there. But yeah, you're right. I have not been in like a big scary movie until recently with Night Books, which is on Netflix. But I had kind of been wishing for one, and I feel like that's all that's being made right now, right? Or like horror movies, haunted house movies, but it's just about finding the one that is also a good character piece. But I love the sort of heightened, elevated, stylized opportunities that horror allows.
Yeah, and you have been directing some episodes of The Girl in the Woods, which is produced by my good friends over at Crypt TV. You directed the pilot episode, which I watched this morning. I really enjoyed it. How did you get involved with that?
The good old-fashioned way, where I was asked to pitch on it. They sent me the treatment and the general concept and asked me if I wanted to pitch on it. And I kind of like got my hooks in it and couldn't let go. So not only do I want to pitch on it, but I want to do this job. I loved that it was an opportunity to do a pilot, because as a director, that means you get to make all of the big choices. You get to do all the world building, set the tone. And I was supposed to have my first meeting, and it was supposed to just be like a general, hi, how are you? And I showed up with an entire like a one-woman show and a whole visual pitch deck. And I think just kind of went above and beyond what anybody would have ever expected anyone to do. And so they let me do the gig, which was really exciting.
I'm so proud of you. Sorry.
I had a great time creatively on this. I mean, it's a tiny, no-budget show. And I find like sometimes working within those kind of limitations is even like more fun. Couldn't pull me away from the creative process of it. Playlists, I made character mood boards, I made wardrobe mood boards. And by the end, I think my pitch deck ended up being like 140 pages.
Oh my God, that's
with
so
images,
fun.
like some full screen images, some montages, but like a lot.
Yeah, it's still very detailed no matter how you cut it. Yeah.
Yes.
When I asked you to come on this show and asked you to pick your favorite scary movie, you picked The Lost Boys from 1987. And this is a huge movie within the horror genre, and it's one that is actually underserved by my channel. I've never covered it in any form on the channel, even though I use a clip of Kiefer Sutherland saying, "You did me!" in my extended intro for my videos, because the channel's dead meat.
You've seen it.
I have, but here's the thing. I saw it for the first time 3 years ago. That was the first time I ever saw it, and I watched it on a laptop in a hotel, and I was very tired, and I did not like it. But I rewatched it this morning. Yeah, that's what most people's reaction is when I say I didn't like it. But I rewatched it this morning ahead of this, and I liked it so much more. I had a really good time, thankfully. I think I had this vendetta against 80s style for a long time that I've recently thawed to.
Okay.
I mean, this is possibly the most 80s movie I've ever seen in my life.
Death by stereo.
The music is so good and the characters are so good and the clothes. It's just such a great movie. It's like, it's got the action adventure and the horror and the vampires and like the super hot dudes. And I was like, come on, Kiefer Sutherland. I mean, can't get enough.
He looks so cool in this movie. When
So
he
cool.
rolls up for the first time and he just like is looking at the camera, he just looks so awesome. And I was so surprised to see how young he and the lead actor were. I think they were only like 21 in this
Oh, wow.
movie. Like they're little babies playing these vampires running around, but they have so much authority to the role, especially Kiefer. He doesn't even have that many lines of dialogue.
He's like, where are you going, Star?
Yeah.
I can't get enough of him.
Where you going, Star?
Yeah, he just has this like authority to him, even though he's young. It really sells the kind of ageless aspect to his character, which I really appreciated.
Yep.
He helps just set that whole tone for the movie. It just feels so, like I said, very 80s, but in that kind of like 80s counterculture underground. They're bikers run around in their leather jackets, and the boardwalk, I think, is a really fun setting for the movie to have and revisit.
The costumes in that movie, like it's not even just like leather jackets. It's like head to toe, like perfection. And, you know, Jamie Gertz as Star in that sort of white eyelet outfit. And then just, you know, Jason Patrick is a total babe and the Frog Brothers. I just, everything about that movie. So when I signed on to do Night Books, I met with the director, David Yarveski. In the original script, the main character gets lured into a magical apartment by an evil witch by showing the movie Evil Dead.
Nice.
It kind of felt like it was too ancient. That would have been like us, like, and Nosferatu, you know?
What, the original Evil Dead?
Yeah, this script had Evil Dead as
Yeah. That movie looks old. It looks like dated a little bit. Yeah.
And it's like a Home Alone aged, you know, protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
When he was like, oh, I'm actually working on getting the Lost Boys cleared instead and having like the character be obsessed with the Lost Boys. I was like, I'm in. The famous song from that movie, Cry Little Sister, is in the film. Then at the end of the film is covered by churches. I swear to God, this cover that they did is so epic and so beautiful and haunting. And that chick can sing. So cool. My Lost Boys obsessed heart was singing.
That song is great, and I didn't realize that it was written for the movie to be the movie's theme. I just assumed it was a song that they just co-opted for the title, like the cover of People Are Strange, which also does a great job of setting up that world with that montage in the beginning.
So good.
Yeah.
The soundtrack of that whole movie, even when they're like at the bonfire and that guy with the saxophone.
Guy with the sax, dude. I saw that he was like Tina Turner's sax player and also a bodybuilder, obviously. Like he's all oiled up. And as a sax player, I can really appreciate that we had some tenor make it into the movie. And it's like kind of like a famous gif now. I always see that image of him just like rocking his hips playing.
Yeah, it's so funny. So good. And she has that weird dance move in that scene too. I've obviously seen this movie a lot of times where she like kind of does this like weird thing with her hands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In that opening montage, is there, because I love that it's all these clips of like counterculture people. Is there anyone who stands out to you as your favorite little clip of a strange person? 'Cause I have one.
Well, wasn't there someone like kissing a rat or something?
Oh yeah. There's like a little rodent or something. Yeah.
Yes. That I don't like. Yeah, I just remember it. It's not like.
I mean, if it stands out, yeah, that's
deeply
something.
connected with or anything, but yeah.
There's this guy in that montage. It's such a quick shot, but he has like this oversized hat that fills the entire frame and sunglasses, and the camera's way too close to him. When that happened in the opening montage, laughed so hard at it. I loved it. And yeah, you mentioned like the Frog Brothers. I love that the movie isn't afraid to have kind of these tangential characters. Like the grandpa, I think you could take him out of the movie and the plot wouldn't be affected.
I'll see you two guys later.
But he's a fun character to have for more comic relief. And then comes in at the end for kind of a Deus Ex Machina.
The Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, it just comes in. But they sell it with that line about like,
one thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires.
just like that's the little stinger for it. But I like that the movie is able to be funny.
Woo, you smell like garlic.
But it still gets a little scary with those vampire makeup effects. I saw that Greg Canham did the special effects on the movie, and he's done a lot of work. I forget specifically which movies I've covered that he has done, but I know his name has come up a lot in my research, and I was shocked that it takes a full hour before we get the reveal of what the vampires look like. We're kind of
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, the pacing is so good on it that you're just kind of like in. Yeah, that wouldn't fly now, right? Like,
no.
They would be like, 10 minutes, we gotta see something.
We gotta see something. You gotta sell this movie and keep people from clicking away on their streaming service that they're watching it on.
Totally.
What I like to do in this show is to have my guest quiz me about their favorite horror movie. And like I said, The Lost Boys, I'm not super knowledgeable about it. I didn't go studying. I did read the Wikipedia article, so maybe I retained some info there, but time to see if you can stump me about The Lost Boys.
Okay. Well, you kind of already answered one that I was gonna ask.
That happens.
Yeah. Let's do who is on the poster
Oh my God, there's so many.
in Sam's bedroom?
Oh, I thought you meant who's on the Lost Boys movie poster. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
all of them are. There's so
Yeah.
many people on it. Okay, so it's not the Jim Morrison poster hanging up in the Vampire's Cavern, right?
No, but that's good. That's a good observation
Yeah.
and good retaining of information. But nope, that's not.
Well, it stood out to me because they never get old, and he died so young. He never got old.
Yeah.
So
And
I was
also,
like,
he looks just like Jason Patrick in like the same hairdo in that photo.
yeah,
Anyway.
very similar styles there. Okay, a poster.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Really big male star in the 80s. Now, like, does a lot of comedy.
Oh man, if he was like a big 80s star, it would have been
But,
like
and a total, like, babe.
okay. It would have been just too early for Bruce Willis, so it's not him.
Not him.
Was he like action in the 80s?
No.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like heartthrobby.
Ooh. Oh, okay. I think I might know. Is it Jason Bateman?
No.
Damn it. Okay. He was like heartthrobbing
Let's see
kind
if I can give you any more hints. I think he was in an NBC show a few years ago.
Is it Ted Danson?
Jesus, no.
He's
okay.
hot.
Hey, you're not just another face to me. I really love you.
I like how generous you're being.
He was in Tommy Boy. Jesus. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I lost.
Have
this
you
one.
not seen Tommy Boy?
It's been so long, Kristen. I'm sorry.
Don't run away from your feelings.
Should I just tell you? Should
Yeah.
I make you sweat longer? Rob Lowe.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Come on.
I was close with Bateman. I feel like they occupy the same kind of sphere.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Heartthrob, total babe, now does comedy.
Yeah, like went away for a little bit, came back, had a career resurgence, you know.
Let's see what else I have here that we didn't already answer.
What were some of the ones that I already answered?
I was gonna ask what was the opening song.
Okay, Little Sister, is that what it's called?
No.
Oh, do you mean the People Are Strange? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, they play Little Sister first when it's like soaring over the water, right?
Yes. Okay. You're right. I'm wrong. Who was originally gonna direct the movie?
Oh, the guy who did the Goonies. I forget his name though.
Richard Donner
Donner,
was
yes.
originally gonna direct the movie, but I read here that he had to bow out for Lethal Weapon. I didn't know this. I wouldn't have gotten that.
I'm actually glad that happened because it sounds like had he done it, it would have been more Goonies-like with a younger cast.
No shit.
The vampires would have been a few years younger, and I think I saw like the Frog Brothers. Yeah, I read that they would have been like 8 years old, and then when Schumacher came on, he was like, no, let's age them up and make it sexier, and I think that works much better for the movie.
Thank God. Oh my God, did you know they're trying to do a remake?
I did with one of the kids from It and Noah Jupe from A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
I'm sure everybody involved is talented and will try their
For
best to make something great. It's just like one of those movies that you just kind of want them to leave alone.
It's a movie that, to me, like I said, it just feels so just the 80s. Like, that's what that movie is. Sure, it's
Yeah.
a vampire story, but I think the style of it is what everyone loves about it. And to put that in 2021, I will be interested to see how they do it.
One other question I had was, what hit big TV show was inspired by The Lost Boys?
It wasn't What We Do in the Shadows, is it?
No. But you can have one more guess. Go further back.
Further back, yeah.
Young, cult hit, female lead.
Oh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes.
Yes.
Joss Whedon says that they pulled many inspirations. And Buffy, it's a good one.
Well, you know what else I noticed is that when these vampires are exploding in The Lost Boys, Frog Brothers covered in glitter afterward. And I'm like, Twilight, people made fun of those vampires being glittery and sparkly. That shit was already in The Lost Boys.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never put those two things together. I've actually never seen Twilight.
Oh, really? Interesting. I would have assumed. Yeah.
It's, especially because I worked with Melissa Rosenberg, who wrote all 5. I think I was just like at a place in my life where like movies and TV were not something I was like like sitting down to watch.
Sure, that happens. I think they're getting a little bit of redemption lately. I think nowadays people are looking back and be like, the first movie's not bad.
I mean, it's a monster hit. Those were like the first big tentpole, like young teen movies. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm glad that we had this conversation about The Lost Boys. I'm sad that I failed so hard with some of those questions.
You really did. You didn't do great, but it was still very fun.
I could feel the disappointment just radiating off of you. I just feel like I really let you down.
I had a great time.
Well, good. Just before you go, I'd love to talk a little bit more about The Girl in the Woods, especially because I've only watched the first episode, so I've got 7 more ahead. You directed 4 total, including the pilot?
Yeah, so I directed the first 4.
Okay.
It's on Peacock now. I think the first 3 are free streaming.
Nice.
Jacob Chase, who is an amazing person and great director, very talented horror brain. He directed Come Play, that was out last year.
Oh, yeah, with Lillian Jacobs?
Yes. 6 Degrees of Winslow. There's an actor in his movie, Winslow, who is the star of my movie, Night Books.
Oh, great.
You know what I mean? What are the chances that like we all worked with the kid who's just like starting out in his career? So I did the first 4, Jacob does the last 4, and it's about a girl who escapes a cult-like colony because their whole job is to keep monsters at bay. And she tries to get out, but she gets sucked back in. It's lots of fun. It's got some Buffy influences in there, some Lost Boys influences in there, and young coming of age issues. And I had a great time doing it, and I'm very proud of the show.
I really like the lead 3 young actors that you have there.
Yes.
They're really talented. And is it Misha Overvich?
Oshevich, yeah.
Who's in Freaky, which I love.
Right?
And they are so funny.
Yeah.
I loved Misha, and Stephanie Scott plays Carrie, the lead. Sophia Bryant plays Tasha. And because I directed the pilot, I got to cast all of them. And the casting directors on this just did such a great job bringing us a pool of young talent. You know, it's not like the kind of role where, you know, it's an age group where you're just going to like list a bunch of names that people know. Like you have to go out and discover people. Barden and Schnee cast it. They also cast Jessica Jones. So that was very fun to sort of reunite with them in this new role. And Misha, I have a comedy background, so if there's a character that has like funny lines or can really push a little further for a laugh, like that was the character that I had the opportunity to do that with. I would come in and give Misha a note, no matter what it was. They would be like, dope, yes, real, dope. And I would just love giving Misha notes. And I was like, trust me on this one, say it like this. And they're like, are you sure? I'm not gonna look ridiculous. Like, trust me. And so I think it worked, and they have a lot of big laughs in the show as well. Night Books is for it's sort of like a gateway horror movie.
I love that.
It's got real scares in it, and it's a delicious character piece for me, but it's for more like the cooler kids. It's probably like more like 8 and up, and like watching with your parents, because there are these cool Easter eggs and nods to 80s horror movies, and it's like a great message for kids, in addition to there being big scares. But instead of there being like blood, maybe there's like candy. But it's really imaginative and creative and fresh. And then The Girl in the Woods is young adult, teens played by actors in their early 20s, and just like kind of a vibe in a world that I really dig.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? We need horror property for all ages, including those gateway ones. So thank you for your work making those.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate talking to you, and just a big fan in general.
Thanks so much for having me. This was a great time.
Thanks, Krysten.